All right, and hardware, the last word on my list. We're giving out 1 sportsmanship award and 5 senior S's and 1 major. The sportsmanship award goes to Tatsuhiro for being such a great sport. Wow, I don't need to say anymore. We had a hard time, Coach Burke and I, separating out the seniors from the majors this year, and we just figured that there's good things and bad things about every player on our team, and so we figured we built our team on these 5 pillars, and we would put them in kind of the same group. So the first is Patrick, who was really consistent for us all season long, played every single game. We didn't sub him much, if at all. I'm not even sure we did. And at one point he played in 10 games over 2 days, which is, you know, kind of crazy, really. So it was asking a lot of you, Patrick, so well done. The second is Gilberto, who I remember saying Heath, referring to him as a buffalo in practice. But he meant it in a nice way. And yes, saying Heath, you're right, Gilberto is a beast. For sure. I could use a team of Gilbertos next year, and looking forward to having you back, buddy. Antijara, number 8, he plays a key offensive position for us when we're attacking. 1 out of 2 plays, he's picking up the ball from the base, from the back of the scrum, and attacking the defense. He knows he's going to get hit. He's probably going to get hit by 2 or 3 guys, and he keeps doing it over and over. It takes a lot of courage and guts, Auntie, and you did it well all season long. In the backs, we have Marciano, who first year playing rugby, but he's Mr. Yeah! Taking off his shirt and getting all jacked up during practice, right? Like he's just loving the game of rugby. So I love his intensity. I love that you brought that every single practice, Marcy. And last is our team captain, Carson, who can always be counted on to ask me and Mr. Spurk what he can do to improve. And he's trying to improve every single practice all the time. He's the guy that we're giving the ball to, so he tucks the ball like this and he's drilling through the defense, trying to get the defense to collapse so we could create some space on the field. And he did a superb job of that all season long. So all 5 of you and Tatsu, come on up. Carson and Marcy, read some of this. And last but not least, the Major S sweater and MVP trophy. I refer to this kid as the linchpin on our team, and I wasn't actually sure what a linchpin was. I had to look it up in case it was something really bad. And it turns out it's not. When you put a wheel on an axle of a car, right, you need a pin to hold the wheel on so it doesn't fall off, right? So that describes this kid perfectly. He was responsible for so many awesome plays, and he plays with incredible intensity and so smart, such a great decision maker. The linchpin is Trevor Grasby.
Senior Girls Rugby, Miss Hessian.
I think I have to jump if I'm going to do this. All right, good evening, everyone. First, I'd like to start off by saying thank yous. I know that you've heard a lot of thank yous so far, but the reason why you've heard so many thank yous is because they're so important and they're so worth it. Any team, whether it's a championship team or not a championship team, has a lot of pieces of its puzzle in order to make it work. In order to put the big picture in sight, everyone has to play their piece, and there's a lot of people that were important pieces to our puzzle, so I'd like to thank Mr. Van Dyke, to Alta, to the Health Center, to Maintenance, to Stefan, and our driver Jean, who really is we're really lucky to have Jean. I don't know if anyone else has experienced this, but the guy gets off the bus, stands in the stands, and is like screaming at the top of his lungs for our players, calling them by name. And that's something that we're so lucky to have our Stanstead spirit shared by everyone in our community. Thank you to Mr. Grenier and Mr. Spurk for all the conversations, the coffees, the bus rides, the jokes to lighten the mood when it's needed. To Mr. Underhill, for his help at the beginning of the season in particular, for Miss Sophie Blair, who came with us to Rugby Fest in New Brunswick, to my assistant coach, Emily Norris, who is herself a Major S winning player and an excellent role model for these players, and also for her assistant, Liam, who's not here tonight because he's maybe home in bed, but Liam was always around us and certainly made everyone's day just a little bit brighter. I'd also like to take this time, I know Mrs. Smith mentioned all the athletes who had excellent seasons, and I would like to take the time to congratulate every single athlete in the room who had the opportunity to play for a championship. Because to me, I noticed that there was a very high proportion of that. And sometimes at Stanstead, because we herald that, it's something we might take for granted because a lot of you have had that opportunity, and many athletes will go their entire career and never have the opportunity to play for a championship. And many of you did. And there's a reason why they put that crest right over your heart. So congratulations to you in those efforts. And you can clap for that. And finally, I'd like to thank my team for your honesty, for your positivity, for your dependability, for your hard work, for your resilience. You rose to the challenge each day. And Mr. Van Dyke, when he was talking about his badminton coach who wasn't good, he just wanted to beat you. That's what you said. If anyone ever came to a rucking practice, they would think I felt exactly the same way. I literally did beat them at that. It was physical. He was mental, but it's physical, this one. Anyway, you rose to the challenge. You rose to the challenge each day. Proved yourselves worthy of each other's trust, caring, bravery, daring, friendship, humility. Your love and laughter has lifted us all and is a gift that none of us will soon forget. Now, last year, you may remember my speech was entitled 13 Pieces of Advice for Success in Rugby as a Metaphor for Life. I have less time this year, so I have to take a different tact. I want to tell you a story about my godmother, Linda. Like all my aunts and uncles, Linda has always encouraged me to work hard and to not give up. But what's important about her to me is that she always made me feel like I was a wonderful sense of pride to her. And she was always full of advice. This Christmas when I was home, she gave me a nice little memento that had some important pieces of advice on it, which I would like to share with you today. So this year's speech is entitled 3 Pieces of Advice for Success in Rugby as a Metaphor for Life. 1, you are braver than you believe. Your courage is inspiring. Whether you tried this sport for the first time, tried it at a new level, tried any sport for the first time, or took on a new role, you showed us that it would be you, that you would not sit back and let someone else do the work, that it would be you. You are braver than you believe. Piece of advice number 2, you are stronger than you seem. I literally shake my head. You are unbelievable. There's not a single challenge that you cannot tackle. When you decide that you do not want someone to cross that line, it is impossible for them to defeat you. You are stronger than you seem. And piece of advice number 3, you are smarter than you think. Rugby is a dynamic game. The game continues, whether you know what you're doing or not, and whether you're laying on the ground or not. It's a mess. But you can and did make sense of that mess. You can thrive on your instincts because you know what to do, and you can do the right thing in even the most chaotic situation. You are smarter than you think. You're braver than you believe, you're stronger than you seem, and you're smarter than you think. So why, you wonder, did I tell you this story about my godmother, who always made me feel like I was a source of pride to her? Because of these 3 really important characteristics and qualities, I want to make sure, with these few words, that I have to make sure that you understand that you are an enormous source of pride for me. Please come up and get your pins. Okay. Okay, we have a very few amount of awards, but I just want to comment on the aspect of coaching, what it's like to be around this team. It's just so fun. Like, there wasn't a single day that when 3:30 ended, I wasn't like, I got to get out of this office and onto that field, because once you get onto that field with these guys, time stops. And it's, in fact, I have to go to dinner and I'm a little bit upset, I'm sad, but time stops for me. And I still have a timer on my watch to tell me when practice has to end and we have to move on to something else that we're doing. Whether we're playing a game and you don't want to lose, or whether we're playing tag, or whether we're stealing pennies from each other, or whether you're crushing the bones of each other in a tackle drill or a ruck drill, or making mistakes in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You're just so much fun to be around. And it makes it so difficult to choose award winners. But of course, it's difficult for everyone to choose award winners on a team that is so successful and so together. Nonetheless, I have 1 sportsmanship award, 3 senior S's, and 2 majors. The first award is the Sportsmanship Award. It goes to an athlete who has shown an immense amount of courage this season. And for us, I think it's a little bit bittersweet, because I think we all understand that under different circumstances, it would potentially be a different type of award that she would be receiving today. But nonetheless, that does speak to her sportsmanship. She showed enormous courage under pressure, on and off the field. Despite Katie's injury early in the season, or halfway through the season, she was there. In the rain, she was there. Katie, go. No, I'll just put a plastic bag over it. No, I'll do the flag. You can't do the flag. I'll do it with my other hand. She definitely is a team first person, and certainly deserving of Sportspersonship Award, and that's Katie Peddle. The second award is a senior S that goes to our most prolific try scorer. If you watch any of our games, I call her the pinball. It's like watching a ball bounce around until it finds its hole and goes flying through and scores tries whenever. She's also, uncharacteristically for her size, one of the most reliable tackles on our team. She just chews up space. And what that means is she can go find space when she has the ball and get through and score. And when the other team has the ball, she can take away all the space from them so that they cannot score. She's very exciting to watch, and that's Rina Takahashi. The next award goes to a player who is our most consistent ball winner. And that is pretty much, if you ask me, the ball is one of the most important things in the game of rugby. And it's a thankless task, and a lot of people do it. But she's our most consistent one. At the beginning, she was a little bit hesitant, but after that, she put the first foot over. She was at almost every single breakdown, and she was the one to put up her hand and go forward. Whether it was making a tackle, and especially in the last few games, going forward, taking on the ball, scoring against BCS, it's Emily Willis. The next award goes to a player who said at the beginning of the season her goal was going to be to make the first tackle. She committed to her goal. In fact, she did make the very first tackle of the season, which was a coincidence, but an excellent one. But she did commit to that goal, and she exceeded that goal. She exceeded my expectations, and I think her own. Her tackling and running made oppositions nervous, but her ability to communicate and organize was what set our back line apart from every team that we played against this year, and she certainly delivered, and that is Chloe Van Dyke. Please come up. I would be remiss before if I didn't say thank you to the fans who came out to support us. I don't know if anyone noticed, but from my memory, this is the first time we brought the league and championship trophy back here to Stanstead, we think since 2009. So that was really special for us to win at home, and thanks to the fans who were there for that. The first major award today goes to a brilliant athlete with a gift for vision. She sees the field and watches the holes unfold before her. Makes her a constant threat on offense and makes the opposition extremely nervous. She is patient, she is persistent, and she thrives under pressure. Did I mention she can kick the ball from pretty much anywhere, off a tee or drop kick? And the secret to her success this year is coming on at pace and being in exactly the right place at the right time. And she's not here to receive it, but I would like to ask, ladies and gentlemen, please stand and honor Maya Daigle with a major S. There's nothing here, these go. Okay. The final awards go to the playmaker. Even when she doesn't touch the ball, she brings everyone around her up. Literally and figuratively, selflessly, too much sometimes, I say. She looks for ways to make everyone around her, everyone on her team, shine. On the field, she's instinctive and opportunistic. She's coachable, she's team first. She's a sound leader, a sneaky tag player, a decisive runner, and a reliable tackler. If you didn't notice when you watched our games, you're going to wish that you could watch them back just so that you could watch her and see that she is the player that we could not play without. The secret to her success is not being in the right place at the right time. It's being in every place all the time. She will receive a Major S award along with the Roger Marino Cup for Excellence in Sportsmanship in Girls Rugby. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand and join me in honoring Kayla Willett. Who do I give her? This? Thank you.
The final program of the night, tennis, Mr. Williams.
Good evening. I'd like to express my appreciation and gratitude to work with amazing people such as Mr. Prevost and to Mr. Van Dyke and Mr. Wolf for their support in the tennis program and acquiring beautiful new blue-on-blue courts. It took many people to create this incredible team, a team that achieved results that no other team did in 25 years here and beyond. Now, why don't we celebrate with a little poem? A barrel of monkeys would find it hard if they looked out on the school play yard to see a bunch of players having more fun than this team did under the sun. Wait, did I say sun? I think I meant pouring rain. And though much of the season it was quite a pain, our players indeed found other ways to make the best of tennis days. You could say the bright sun shone inside the gym as their hearts were glowing to the brim. Now, when chimpanzees have a good old time, that is nothing compared to our team sublime. And though our players often laughed and joked around the place, they were actually serious, make no mistakes. Our team was made up of athletic stars who could compete and constantly raise the bars. Simonetta and Greg took the tennis shield. Congrats to them, they ruled the field. But there were other players, too numerous to mention, who put these matches in contention. Now, I won't talk about McDonald's or inside jokes. I won't waste precious time of you good folks. I was asked in no uncertain terms to keep this brief, which may come to some as a big relief. So if I had to boil it down to one important word, it would be something you've all most likely heard. And that word is thank you for making this season why I coach, the very reason. Merci beaucoup and danke schön, gracias and much obliged. Together, you are all what makes this great and bring tears of joy inside my eyes. I would like to start things off by calling the team forward to receive their team pins. The Tennis Shield is the oldest award in the school. It's since 1922, that's 95 years ago, that's 17 years before the Second World War. It is awarded for winning a tournament within our school. The winners of the Shield are Simonetta Gaumont and Gregory Lapointe. Please come up. The next awards are the Sportsmanship Award and 3 Senior S's. The Sportsmanship Award goes to Carlos Navarro. He's a very strong player. It's not easy to lose. And this is a true test of sportsmanship. Carlos kept his composure throughout. The first senior is to Diego Gil. He was incredibly talented. He had surprised everyone he played. His attitude and skills were simply formidable. Shayla Coates is an understated player. She won in the doubles division every year for 4 years. Her ability to play on a team is second to none. And finally, Valeria Rodriguez smiled a lot. Even if she lost, she smiled. Her skill set in tennis usually dominated the courts. Valeria was a powerful force on the team. Would you please come up to receive your awards? Finally, there are 2 last awards. The first goes to Gregory Lapointe. He was a fighter. He had fortitude. And when the pressure was on, he came through in flying colors. Would you please come up and receive your Major S? There's one more award. It goes to somebody who was classy, who had finesse combined with skill. She displayed incredible leadership And without Simonetta on the team, it would not be the same. Could you please come and get your award?
Thank you, Mr. Williams. Thank you to all coaches. This concludes the assembly and officially marks the end of the 2016-2017 athletics season. I have one last thank you, and that's to you, the student athletes, you Spartans. Every one of you has contributed to the success Stanstead College has had this year in sports. Every one of you has helped maintain and even build upon the incredible reputation we have. A reputation of competitiveness, sportsmanship, inclusiveness, and class. Every one of you makes me proud to work here. MVP trophy winners for rugby, please stay behind for a yearbook photo. Everyone else, please stand and let your coaches and teachers leave the church first. Have a great end of year.